Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train a Dragon podcast. I'm your host HC, and with me all
Wolf.
And Ian, Winger be praised.
Winger be praised.
and apparently the end of an era because kind of out of nowhere. I'm not sure if you guys heard something about this before, but I just discovered today, 2 days after this season premiered. Welcome to the final season of Dragon's Rescue Riders.
Now,
This is the final season of the show.
Well,
yeah,
as
granted,
the two premier Rescue Riders fans and official Rescue Riders people, especially of the not a cult for Winger, definitely knew this was the final season.
You knew?
Ambassadors.
Yeah, me and Ian get inside scoops all the time because we're we're Winger be
Uh,
praised.
you
We're
and-
part of
you
the
and
not a cult
Ian,
for Winger.
Yeah, you and Ian get scoops all the time, and Ian here is like, so apparently this is the final season, and Ian is very like, wait, it is? And then I had to link him the trailer, which says it's the final season, and it's like, oh.
No. That you don't have any evidence of this.
No evidence that will appear in the video.
Yeah, apparently it is said in the trailer, which I mean, it's the final season of the second series, so technically we've already had two season finales.
Well, but at the same time,
two short films.
referring to Hero,
but right?
3 actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because like the specials are kind of considered their own season, but Heroes of the Sky is a different show. Like Rest of the Edge was a different show to Riders and Defenders of Berk. So it's like, at the end of the day, this is like the end. This is the final batch of new Rescue Riders, unless they decide to do something with it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But because I kind of came across this, I think I was just loading up the Wikipedia page to have an episode list ready, and suddenly I saw a new and final season premiered on September. I know what, and Wikipedia can be shady if they don't provide for sources. So I checked. I checked. It took me to the trailer for the season, where the narrator does say Dragon's Rescue Riders, the final season, comes out on September 29th. So I'm like, I guess that's the final season then.
Description, the trailer, everything says it. So, yeah, apparently.
And I guess so. Like I know we kind of discovered this through me, but Wolf, what is your actual take on this?
I mean, I kind of thought it might have been, like, I didn't watch the trailer or anything like that, but seeing like the sixth episode, the final episode for this season, I kind of felt like this feels like a season finale. This feels like, hey, we're done. There's not going to be any more Rescue Riders after this for a while, potentially, if ever. Like it had that feeling to it.
Oh man, they could have left on such a somber note, but we'll get to that.
And actually, that's another thing. Because not getting into spoilers yet, we'll obviously talk about this more in depth as we go along. But there was this thing that the season has some sort of a finality to it. There is some sort of a because a lot of things kind of get closure to some extent, but then there are also a lot of things which are just kind of like, so we're really not going to do anything with this.
I'm really interested what you think we get any final thing in, because I saw nothing get completed. But...
Listen, we got a reference in the final episode back that
yes.
I did not expect that I had no expectation of seeing coming. It's like, hey, let's reference something back in like the first ever season, I think, of Rescue Riders. Let's reference that.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It had no bearing on anything, but it just surprised me. I'm like, all right, cool.
have no
second
idea.
season or
I have no
something, but
idea. You'll have to bring this up
You'll
to me because I
understand
think
once
I
we
might
talk
have.
about it. I think me and Ian
Yeah.
are on the.
Okay.
Does it have something to
we're on the
do with
same.
a particular person, Ian,
Yes.
of
Yeah,
the rowing
absolutely.
variety?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll get there,
Absolutely.
but like there were a few things that felt like okay. I guess you're kind of trying to do like a big send off, and there were some moments where I'm like, I guess this is what you're implying, but it feels a bit underplayed in other and like for the record, I get it. This is like a preschool show. I'm not expecting like big finales, kind of like that, because when you look at stuff like the Rest of the Edge finale, well, obviously it didn't end the whole thing, but there was a feeling of there was like a finality feel to it. You saw all the dragons we saw throughout the entirety of the show. A lot of stuff was concluded. There were like you knew this was the final season. A lot about it felt like the final season.
I mean,
Here it feels kind of like another season, and again, preschool show. I'm not expecting it to be like to have like a big overarching stuff. And not everything is going to be the Lion Guard. I know I've been comparing Rescue Riders to the Lion Guard ever
That's
since
exactly what I
since
was
we
thinking
started.
of.
I mean, you say
Yeah,
that
because
preschool, but then like I remember Blue's Clues, man. They ended
Oh,
that
man.
show, and that felt like that show went out like it was
that
great.
Yeah.
so that here's the thing: you're talking to someone who didn't have Blue's Clues in the country in
Oh,
which he
I
was.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you did, I didn't, so
Wrong,
I
just
don't have this to
wrong.
compare to.
I
Watch
guess it was a
Blue's Clues
European
now,
and
HC.
American thing. Yeah, just watch it all.
It's the best
In a
children's show in
reference
the world.
That will be the next
in a
Outcast.
reference, well, I was about to say in a reference to an Outcast Wolf, and I just did last week. Another one to the backlog. But yeah, like you look at something like Landguard, which did kind of conclude its story. Like it had a beginning, middle, end, and Rescue Runners did start with some continuity. Because when we started off, there was no aggro, and then she became a mainstay. And throughout this, the Heroes of the Sky season, we started getting those flashback episodes, like how Deck and Layla met their team, how and how everyone kind of got together, and so it's like I don't. So something about this just felt a bit. You are going to these lengths, and I'm not sure if it's like a universal thing, if it's a DreamWorks thing, or it's a preschool show. Who cares? But it feels like they wanted to try and aim for a bit of continuity. They wanted to aim for this kind of feel that a show like showing the How to Train Your Dragon franchise would have, and yet it feels again half baked. For a final season, it feels very half baked.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I'd call it a final season. I feel like we're gonna get more of this show in the
It
future.
is the final season. There's nothing else to call it.
I really hope there's gonna be.
Well, I also hope, but I have this feeling like it's one of those quote unquote final seasons, right? I think we'll get more of this in the future, right?
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
To
at
be
least
honest,
anyways.
the Netflix final season was a very sudden final season because they
Also
went over to
true.
Peacock.
Because again, it was just a bunch of specials.
Yeah, I mean that was a very sudden move from Netflix to Peacock, which was weird. But this, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely the end of the series, but maybe in a couple years we'll get them grown up. Who knows?
That'd be great. I'd love that.
That's something I actually want to talk about, but not today.
I mean,
because
at the end of the day, like it feels like what I would expect from a final episode for a potential final season or just end of season from this show, right?
So I guess just to kind of conclude a non-spoiler discussion, I will say I've been saying this for every time we talked about Rescue Riders since it started, which by the way was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wrap your hand. You wrap your hand. Yeah, like I think people, some kids who were in the target audience when the show started may have even grown out of it by this point, And yet here we are, about two people in their 20s and one in his 30s still talking about that show. We have a life, we swear.
I've got
As
nothing
one
else
of
to
the
do.
20-year-olds,
I mean, I do.
As one of the 20-year-olds, I love this show.
Well, same.
Wolf, I think you're confused there, buddy.
No, never. Think young.
The thing is, my recommendation kind of stays the same. If just detach it, all How to Train Your Dragon stuff, and it's just a fun, innocent show you can watch to relax and just not think about anything.
Like I said, I'm still in the mindset of, this is not the best preschool show out there, but it's not insulting either. Kids can watch it. Kids can like it.
I'd say it's above average, at least.
Yeah, I'd say there's some fun stuff here. There's it made me laugh at times, and it's continued to do that at least once a season.
Yeah, it has its moments definitely, but I still can acknowledge this is a preschool show. So in that area, I think for the target audience, it's fine. Yeah. It's not it's not amazing. But at the same time, if you have a preschooler kid and they want to see this and they want to have some fun, colorful adventures with dragons, they'll like this fine. There's nothing harmful about it except with the other. But my thing still kind of stays the same, that either if you are a How to Train Your Dragon fan, that you want to say you absolutely experienced everything and you didn't like it when it started, nothing from the newer seasons is gonna change your mind. It ends as it begins. Mm-hmm. There are some high points, some low points, but overall, if the show didn't grab you because of its demographic way back when it started, it's not gonna grab you now but if you enjoyed what it had to offer from the start, then you'll walk out of this. You had a good run with a little harmless show that will bring joy to the kids around you and to the inner kid inside yourself.
Fair.
So, spoilers?
Yep.
Okay, so moving on. So we are starting with the first episode of the season, and look at me, I am an idiot and I closed the episode list. What's the name of the first episode?
Full Metal Magnus.
Okay, so this is what I meant with...
They're going to do the anime references from now on, aren't they?
I see. Full Metal Alchemist is right there. I see you. Someone's a fan. I see you.
A little
we
bit.
See you.
Yeah.
To be honest, I read the first episode title and I was like, are they going to do it for all of these episodes now? And it seems like most of them, yes.
They're close.
A little bit.
No, Wells Waldondo is not an anime. I can tell you that.
Well, okay, I meant references.
Actually, there is a Carmen
Edge.
San Diego anime HC.
But this is not Carmen San Diego. It's Wells Waldo. So
no, I mostly meant.
I'll be back. I'm gonna just go deep dive. Where's Waldo anime? Does it exist?
Oh no.
Oh god.
There has to be.
I mean, there's gotta be. There's gotta be. Come on.
Darn. Not seeing anything real quick.
No.
So anyway,
I mostly meant references to other media. I didn't mean anime.
Yes, that's true. But there is or was maybe possibly a One Piece crossover with Where's Waldo.
What the fuck?
No.
The fuck?
You always come back to One Piece, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yo.
Stop it. You're not allowed that.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Anyway. To the show.
Okay. So,
already off topic. We're doing great.
Yeah, so Full Metal Magnus. So again, what I mean with there are some conclusions here, because in this, and they also kind of make fun of it that finally, after being racist against dragons since they first showed up in Hatsukalo.
He's not racist. Don't
shut up. You know what I mean.
Don't tar and feather our boy like that.
Don't start with me.
He is a troubled genius inventor.
No, he's Evil Hiccup.
Yeah, Evil Hiccup.
We've been over this.
So after being against dragons, better.
Thank you.
I don't care. So after being against dragons since they first showed up in Huts Galore, Magnus actually has no choice, and he has to ask the rescue riders for help. I just thought it's okay. I guess it was supposed to be done sooner or later. First watching this episode, but now realizing this is the final season, I'm like, okay. I guess if we had to conclude all the Magnus shenanigans, this is this is the best place to end it. But like,
I love how he never changes, though. He still never changes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he still never changes, but it's like, okay, you know what? He caved and he asked them for help. You know something? That's a way to come, because I know he appears in one more episode afterwards, but he's not like the main focus.
No.
And also the rescue riders having to go on and maybe, but like the rescue riders having to go
focus.
What I mean is that the plot wasn't necessarily about him. Like, he was part of it, but he wasn't the focus of the plot. Like here.
Yeah, right.
Because here he finally asks them for help. They actually take him on an adventure. They have to walk together. So it's like, okay, you know what? There's an arc here. Kinda. Not really. Kinda.
They have to work together-ish.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really work together in the end. I mean, he just kind of tagged along because he had to, because, they were eating all his stuff.
To be fair, if those dragons had found Hanar, it just would have been Hanar. Replace Magnus Hanar and nothing changes, really. Mostly.
Hanar would have been more cooperative.
Yes, other than Hanar would have listened. But to be fair, I found myself absolutely laughing my butt off at this episode, for the simple fact of seeing Magnus get turned into mostly metal by the dragons and their metal blasts, and then falling down the cliff, and them constantly missing him, and them trying to play it off as like, oh my god, we did this not on purpose. This was an entirely accident. And I'm like, come on. You can't play that straight. No. I'm laughing at that for all the wrong reasons.
Let's be honest, Burple has probably actually tried it and then just kind of failed.
I mean, he was falling too at one point.
Yeah, Burple is the only one who might have tried.
I admit that had me laughing for all the wrong reasons, but I was laughing.
That was actually one thing I will say. This season felt the funniest to me. Like, this is the one I was laughing the most. Not always for the right reasons, but like, again, all of them missing the thing. I guess it's supposed to be comedic, but it's also like, are the writers trolling me, or are they?
I feel like there's the writers having some fun with this one, because and the animators too, because they literally have a shot in the first episode of Winger flying over Magnus. I feel like he could have caught him. He just didn't. And then I don't know if it was like a wink, wink. We were totally not trying to miss you, we swear. But like, it felt like they were trying to play that serious in. We totally missed you. Oh no, we weren't able to catch you before you fell.
Either way you want to, either way you want to cut it. This was fun. This was fun, and again, I know he shows up later, but if this was supposed to be like the big Magnus, farewell, this was his final moment to shine. Whatever, let's go with this. It was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed. This was a great first episode to start off the season with. I thought a lot of fun. We got Evil Hiccup back, to do his Evil Hiccup things.
I mean, to be honest, this was the most Hiccup we've ever seen him.
Yes, this is true.
And
he was interacting with dragons. He was doing machines. I'm just saying, this was the most Evil Hiccup has been.
This is true. I don't disagree.
I disagree completely, but let's not open let's get to that bridge once we cross. So, moving on to...
at the end, Winger becomes more like... I completely miss a name now. What's the name? The aggro.
Oh.
Aggro.
Oh yeah.
Smashes him against the rock.
That was
just
also
saying-
kind of funny.
I'm just saying character development for Winger.
Agreed.
Yeah, sure, it's character development. It's not good character development, but it's character development.
It's still character development.
You know something? You fuckers are going to be on my ass for this, but you know what? There's actually a Winger moment in this season I legit like. But we'll get there.
Winger
Is
be
it in
praised.
episode 6? Because I kind of maybe thought that would be a thing.
We'll get there. So, moving on to episode 2, Triple Trouble Tuesday, which sounds like a Tuesday at work for me. But anyway, this I also thought was fun. That there are like three mini plots going around, and all of them kind of connect in one way or another.
Such a cliche ending. I hated the ending. It was just, I don't know why. It just poked me the wrong way.
How everything just resolved itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
like there is kind of a thing that okay, so Magnus's robotic sheep is like is going haywire, so Burple and Agro need to go stop it. But at the same time, like I think Deck Winger and I think it's Cuddle have to stop this dragon that got 2 of the crystals. By the way, buy crystals. You were completely pointless.
It's Lurk. Lurk came back. We've not seen Lurk in quite some time.
Yeah.
A Slinkwing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun enough.
So they have actually this. I think I did like that part that he's actually onto their thing, that they're about to bring the red crystals to kind of cancel his 2 blue crystals, and he actually thinks forward towards it, and then Layla, Summer, and Summer have to help Elbone, who's stuck underwater, because that's actually another joke I kind of found funny, that that they come in and it's like Elbone has a new business idea, and everyone collectively is just like, oh no.
I love.
We should probably save him. Yeah.
I still love how the whole Shelly, Rocky, and Crystal thing. Crystal gets no screen time, by the way. Crystal is just there. But Shelly actually has a heroic moment. Shelly saves Elbow.
It's so funny. Yeah. He's just like, Rocky would probably just sink, and Shelly would actually get help. It's like, yeah, I mean,
Rocky would panic and sink, and Rocky's just like, yeah, I would.
No, because it's like even when Layla and Summer kind of update the others about this, and they're like, hey, we went in with Shelly, and then Duggar just runs, and it's like, rescue riders, Shelly's here without Elbone, and then when they go rescue him, it's like, I was like, I knew Shelly would do it, and it's like, oh my god, really?
I also love the
this is one of those moments. Funny joke at first, and then it just got tiring.
Okay, fine, but
because I want to kind of say this. Deck, I just think kind of like Burple to an extent, just gets slanderized to the point it's like, he's stupid. Like Layla is the competent sibling. Deck is just an idiot. It's like, come on, people. It doesn't have to go this way.
I feel like Deck
I know.
isn't as slanderized as Burple is, though. Like, I'm sorry.
To the same extent. No.
There are times where it's like. It's just like Burple interrupts. Oh, okay, have your moment, Burple. I would rather any of the other dragons talk. Give Aggro more lines.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's always, whenever Burple talks, it's always an explanation of a word or a term or whatever.
That he completely misunderstands. And it's like, I get why you're doing it. You're doing it for the kids and everything. Like, that's what it feels like. But after a certain point,
is to fill the time.
It feels like you're taking the piss, because this is too much.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No, when I say that Deck is on that way, I'm not saying that he's to the same level of Burple. I'm just saying it kind of becomes a thing that because the dynamic is that Layla is the brains. She's the one that has all of the facts sorted out. She's the one that approaches a situation more calculated, while Dak is more improvising and just willing to go with the flow and do all the acrobatic stuff, and just being over the top. They overpush the fact that he's not the smart one of the two, because he wasn't an idiot previously. He would rush into situations, but here I just feel like, yeah, we're doing science. And it's like, come on.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that was also because they were bored. And he was just like, I just want to play with the crystals. And he just needed an excuse. That's kind of what it felt like.
I get that.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah, right? That's all
and
these
again,
mysterious
speaking
crystals.
of the crystals,
Yeah.
by the way, I'm gonna talk about the crystals for a bit, okay? I know, but I've been ranting about this since they were introduced. I'm gonna rant about this again.
He's been more
What
ranty
was
about
their
it than
point?
Winger.
What was the crystals' point now that we know the show is over?
To annoy you.
I guess, you know what? Rescue Riders, if you're watching this and this thing was just to annoy me, to get back at me for talking shit about Winger, or because I wasn't nice towards the Nine Realms, you know what? Well played. But if it wasn't just to annoy me...
It was only to discover Amnesia Island.
But the crystals have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, they did, because Cutter used them to use his super sight.
Yeah. Everything came back in that final episode, HC.
I'm just saying.
Everything.
On the one hand, you say that, but at the same time, the crystals were like the one thing I forgot from that episode.
Doesn't matter, though. It came back.
Yeah, okay. But I will say this. The reason I'm pulling out the crystals for this is because, again, kind of like with Magnus finally caving and asking for help, this, again, feels like because ever since the Heroes of the Sky seasons, since the show went to Peacock, we had those crystals. And they were kind of here and there, experimenting with them. But if you... besides the... what's it called? Besides the... the Bewilderbeast ones from the previous season, the crystals were never used against the Rescue Riders, as far as I remember. And now you have an enemy which has two of them, and they need to walk around those crystals. So again, you've taken advantage they had, and now you're switching it around so that they don't have it. That's okay. You know what? For the kind of show this is, fine. This is your big climax for this plotting, but at the same time, this is all we're gonna do with it. Okay.
Yeah. It would have been more fun if they did more with it over the whole series. But for example, in this episode, we're still talking about episode 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They also use it as like they get stuck in the slink wing goo, and now they're stuck with the red crystals, so they can't actually help themselves. Which is actually a good idea, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they should have done more stuff like that where the crystals play more of a role.
I mean, to be fair though,
kind of seem gimmicky now.
Where do you take the crystals? Like, what is their, what is the end game with the crystals? Like, where do you go with them? Like, what is the big? Here's the crystal payoff. Like
it's almost like we're in a writers' meeting now.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, though, that it doesn't feel like they were really building up for a payoff, but at the same time, it felt like such a thing because every season they had to remind you those crystals exist for an episode, and then they would just be gone until the next season. So, and last season they actually did something interesting with them, which with the entire they're like the big King of Dragons one. Okay, you introduce something like that, and then we're just going to forget about it. Okay, whatever.
I got it. I have the payoff.
Oh no.
Check this out.
Here's
our next big story.
Yes.
The crystals are
Mm.
the essences of other dead dragons. The big payoff. That's it. We find out that the crystal that powers Winger is the essence of Toothless, dead.
Oh no. I don't know if I like that as much.
All I'm going to note
So-
to our viewers is, thank God this is not canon. But
Wait, does that mean they've
now,
already discovered the hidden world as well then? Does that make the 9 realms
Well-
invalid? There's so much going on.
No, the
Yeah,
Nine Realms
so
isn't invalid
actually-
because
Oh,
they
okay.
keep finding stuff in the Nine Realms, right? Those things were left by Dak and Layla. Boom. Got it.
Oh my
All
god,
I'm
it's all
going to say-
connected. Oh my god, you did it again.
All I'm
I
going
to
always.
Actually,
Brilliant.
Oh my
you know
god,
something?
you're brilliant.
I'm gonna save it for later, but all I'm going to say is that I think now that we actually have the finale of this thing, I can say this is definitely not canon to the Hiccup and Toothless stuff.
Absolutely.
Regardless if you want to believe it or not, that's your thing. You can enjoy living in your delusions.
Oh, we'll
But
get to that in
you
the
know,
I
last
will.
episode, don't worry.
I will. I will continue to.
We'll get to
Okay.
it in the last episode.
So, anything else to say about episode 2?
Again,
except for the fact
another-
that,
Actually,
Magnet-
I had something to say about episode 1 still that I completely
Oh,
forgot.
go
They
ahead.
actually,
What is it?
They actually referenced maybe Toothless, because they called one of the dragons Toothy, which I thought was very weird.
it's not much of a reference, but
I'm just saying.
No, I think I get what you mean, but I think it's also this moment of, okay, if we are going to go something with tooth, it can be toothless because obviously
Too full.
toothful, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, noblesse. Okay, moving on.
Episode
So-
2. Overall, pretty good. Just like episode 1. Nothing
Yeah,
to,
pretty
complain
good.
about,
It's
really.
okay. I mean, I hated the end, but
Kinda
it's
enjoy-
alright.
I mean,
I kinda
it's
enjoyed
very
this,
predictable, but
Obviously.
Well, every episode has been predictable. Like, this is not a show that will surprise you. Really.
Also,
don't
how did
entirely
Elbone?
agree with that.
How did Elbone survive so long underwater when his air tank was basically depleted?
Cartoon logic.
I'm
That's all
I'm just asking. Just a note.
Mhm.
It's
Okay,
Elbone. Like,
so
I
episode-
don't question it. He can just do things.
Okay, so episode 3, and I'm sure Wolf's favorite from this season. Where's Waldondo?
I did enjoy this one a lot.
Uh,
This one was fun. We get-
Okay,
We
so
finally get to
frickin-
see our the episode from the final thing we've not seen from the intro for so long with Morena and Burple checking out the painting and there being Wolf behind
Holy
it.
shit!
We
Well,
finally see that episode now.
Spoiler alert, what we think is Morena.
Yes, what we think is Morena. I love how like
That-
they give you one little clue from Burple. It's like, what? Morena always loves fish pie. Wait a minute, she's wearing her eye patch on the wrong eye. And that's all it is. It's like that was so out of nowhere. Like, okay, well that's obviously a
Honestly,
little
on
weird,
the
maybe
one
not
hand,
Morena.
There's
On the one
other
hand-
things actually. There is
Hmm.
one other thing because when they went to Morena, which in the end we found out is Waldondo, she was. I'm just gonna say he. We know that it's all Waldondo
Yeah,
until the
yeah.
end. So he basically
Yeah.
reads the message to them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's definitely Waldondo, and yeah, definitely the greatest pirate in existence and everything," which was already a little bit.
Yeah, she like it was a bit
I guess
too.
that's true.
It wasn't.
Morena definitely
I
would
will
not have
say-
agreed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I will say that the one thing that clued me that something is not as it seems is what Ian said, that she in quotes read that letter with such like only Waldondo can do this, because usually Mirena doesn't really like Waldondo, like she wouldn't suck his dick up that much. But what Wolf said though about Burple noticing that she has the eye patch, honestly, I didn't think much of it. I just found that Morena is such a random character and such an over the top one that I just figured, you know what? Maybe she just got tired of having it on one eye and she put it on the other.
That's fair. That is fair.
Okay. I mean,
that is fair.
True. But I'm gonna be honest. That could have been a reason. But if you know the story writing of this series, you know that it wasn't that.
No.
But at the same time, that's another thing I want to say, though, that, I think ever since the Heroes to the Sky seasons, Marina was just basically a random silent character who just showed up, did a random thing, and went away. So it's nice to have her back. It's
and
nice
well
to
done,
have
though,
her
too.
again.
I will say there was one thing I was disappointed about. But Waldondo did it at least. I fully expected her to, we see the scene of her, or, quote unquote Waldondo, standing on top of the dragon, regaling them with, what they were doing and the whole pirate, island and everything.
Yep.
Or the pirate fortress. Marina should also be standing on a dragon when she rides one. It's just her to a T. But at least we got Waldondo standing on Burple, riding off into the sunset at the end of the episode. So I'm like, all right, I got my thing.
Which,
at
again,
least someone did it.
It's nice to see you do. It's nice to see you become good. And it's like, who said I am? That's it. That's the last we see of him. Aside from that,
of how it's like, hey, you were actually a hero for once. Yeah, don't get used to it.
Yeah,
that's my man.
I also love the fairy animation solution to the Morena model being switched over to Waldondo.
Oh.
Just go into the cell, close it, and open it.
Nope. Have your Superman wardrobe change in the phone booth.
Oh my God! I can just have this Morena going into it, then doing the spin, and she comes out as Waldondo. That would be amazing.
I mean, I also can we have some appreciation for the itty bitty pirate kitties?
Oh yes, that would be this thing. Our audience can now see it. Let me
get
that video.
Yes!
Let me get that
you
image.
Did it!
Actually on screen.
Man. That's fantastic. That was just
and that's another thing that this episode felt like a callback to those pirate characters. All these characters who came up to Hubs Galore for either a peace treaty or a declaration of war, and so it was. So I guess, and then we also got a bit of a closure to these two younger dragons who want to start their own rescue team. We just saw them there. Yeah, they were just there, did a little jig, and were nice.
Yeah, I love how, why is everyone trapped here? And then we get the explanation at the very end, Morena and Waldondo actually had information that they were going around capturing everybody. So Morena came in to save the day and let herself be caught, actually. So Waldondo would then try and get the rescue riders to save her, but he knew that the rescue riders wouldn't believe him, so he had to pretend to be Morena in order to get them to follow him so they could then save Morena. It's like...
Which Morena knew all along.
Yeah. And Waldondo's you're always so far ahead of me.
That was actually clever. But another thing, there was this joke about when they in Flatter Falls, after they do the little song, they leave. And then, the people who can speak dragon are just I like the little jig.
Waldondo started roaring the theme.
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't have heard us if those dragons didn't roar such a catchy theme.
It was very catchy, though. And he starts doing it as well. I love that. Again, Waldondo and Morena are just fun characters. End of 100%. Loved them.
Oh, man.
Again, this is another one where I can tell, you know what, I think the writers were just like, okay, we have one more season, let's just have fun. And they had fun.
I stand by that. Do so.
Let's spend all our budget.
So, moving on to episode 4, The Greatest Show Dragons. This is one that I could take or leave, honestly.
That you could what?
Take or leave. It's not awful, but it's also...
I like it.
I guess
we didn't have an origin story to Cutter and Burple.
I know we did. Again, it's not the fact. I know that we didn't have that, and it was nice to see. And I also did kind of like the idea of Cutter kind of being Burple's big brother since the start, because Kata was captured by that circus and Purple was burned into it. So they kind of have their thing, and it kind of deepens the connection between the two. But the plot itself, it's just, I guess it's good that we have that official origin now, but it's also, I don't know, it's just it's another flashback episode. There are no risks.
It's something
that flyer, did that remind you of any dragons?
Go on.
But, like the dragon that's trapped with them in the circus?
No, the flyer of Arno's carnival. I don't know if I can find it this quick, but I kind of imagined it would be a Night Fury. Like a chibi version of it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just looking way too far into everything with this, but
maybe you are, but okay. I didn't notice it personally, but
even I'm not that desperate.
Even you're not that desperate.
No, I just.
Actually, never mind. It was definitely Cutter Burple and the other guy. I can't remember the other guy.
Poorly drawn.
Yeah, basically.
I kind of like this idea. I would love to have seen something like this done with like the actual Dragon Riders in the actual, like in I say the actual, but in like Race to the Edge, something like that. That's something that's more than just we kill dragons or we kill dragons to sell what we kill. And it's like I would have loved to have seen an idea like this of we capture dragons and we use them in a show for performance purposes. How does Hiccup deal with that?
There was actually something like this in either season 3 or 4, one of those two. The Toothless is actually captured in like an.
Yeah, but wasn't there only ever like a fighting ring? That wasn't.
Yeah,
like a
that was just It wasn't like a circus that went around to other islands to entertain Vikings.
Like,
it was just
like
a
this
fight.
is properly hurting. Like basically having dragons
fight. I guess you could say it's the same. Yeah, like it's the same idea, but different direction, I guess, because like you said, this is for entertainment. In Race to the Edge, it was still entertainment, but it was
that's
all
a sport, I guess.
Listen,
yeah,
everyone agrees, right, that making animals fight for entertainment bad.
Yeah,
people will disagree or agree of animals entertaining in a circus. It depends on who you talk to and when you talk to them.
Yeah,
I see you over there. We all see PETA over there in the shadows going, yes, we'll ignore them. Don't look at them. Don't acknowledge them. But everyone else who's a reasonable human being, just everyone else who's a reasonable human being, we can say, yeah, there might be some disagreements, there might be some agreements there, but for the most part, as long as they're not being mistreated, everyone would agree it's okay. It's nothing bad about it.
Even then, there's a lot of against. There's a lot of that are for it, and it's. But again, it's a bit more divided than just having animals fight.
Yeah. Like having animals fight each other for entertainment is, I think, overall everyone would consider this is bad, not good. Yeah. Don't do this.
Yeah, so I think this is actually a pretty good concept for an episode.
Oh yeah, this is
a nice origin story.
Yeah.
I guess like that
good concept. Yeah, it's one of those good concepts. I could take or leave the actual execution. It just felt like a slow episode to me.
Oh no, again, it's fair. I get why, because it does feel a little out of place with everything else we've been doing, but I'm glad we got the backstory. I like the concept. Yeah. I would love to, this is a concept that I would love to have seen explored within the realm of this world from Hiccup's perspective. How would he have handled it? What would he have done? Stuff like that. Because I find that interesting, because how that would play off of his character a lot more than it does, say, the Rescue Riders. But overall, it's all right. For this show.
I
although it does
that.
Raise the question now. Now I'm curious, when did Lena pick up her scarf? How and where? And she's always wearing it. Who gave it to her? And why is it so important now?
No. Oh no.
Fan fiction writer.
Oh god, now you want a freaking backstory to specific clothing items. I don't.
Dak's shoulder pad, Ian. Where did that come from? How? Where? Why?
Where did this other one go?
Where did he lose that one?
I mean, but what I want to
say... In the hidden world, and Tom finds it.
is that Burple was like born with the circus. He doesn't know anything else.
Yeah,
And
that was
Cutter
interesting.
has actually been captured. And then Cutter and Burple kind of just have this bond together, which makes not only Burple join the Rescue Riders, eventually Rescue Riders, not then, I guess,
Yeah,
but also Cutter. I find that, I think that's an interesting little
I like
extra
that
story.
it actually gave them something more than just they're friends. Like I appreciate that.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to know that hey, there's a reason why Burple is Burple.
Yeah.
Okay. It also kind of gives a backstory to why he doesn't know much better.
Just because you can explain a show doesn't mean I like it anymore, but I give you credit at least.
It's nice to give an explanation, but at the same time, you also overdid the character. So
character development.
So moving on to episode 5, Copy That. So now's the point. Before we talk about this one, can I just say how ironic that I've been comparing this show to the Lion Guard from the very start, and now it actually did an idea that Lion Guard did.
Okay, well,
but
unironically, no spoilers because I haven't finished that yet. But
I would love to know, and we'll have to come back to this at some point in the future. Did the same person who played Gorsh in this episode play play that character in the Lion Guard? Because if they did, holy shit, Sam Riegel! I am shocked.
Yes, Sam Riegel! I'm so excited that it was Sam Riegel.
It is him.
Yes, that is.
It's him.
I spent this entire episode. The second I heard Gorsh's voice, like, is that him? Wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
Exactly the same. I was googling it the entire episode.
There can't be. And then the credits, and it's like Sam Riegel. I'm like, how does this show keep getting random people who I'm super familiar with, who are actually really good and really worth the time? It's like this show gets such like John McGinley or Patton Oswalt, right? Like,
yeah.
Why does this show pull these people? I'm fine with it, but why? Sam Riegel now.
Yeah, Sam Riegel. I was so excited when I heard his voice.
Honestly, I guess it's just one of those things that Disney has money, and Disney knows how to use the. And I get confused. I got confused with the Lion Guard.
We just called DreamWorks Disney. Oh no.
Yeah. I got confused because I'm looking up Sam Riegel to see if he was in that Lion Guard episode, and the looks of it, no, he wasn't.
I mean, I looked it up as well. There's no credit for him in Rescue Riders yet either. Get on that Wikipedia. He's in it.
Well, that's because it's new. Oh, right, I forgot. He was in Sly 4. He was Tennessee Kid Cooper. Holy shit.
Sam's been in a lot of stuff.
I phonetically have been watching Critical Role for the last couple of weeks, and I was so excited. I heard that voice, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like I've watched it on and off, right?
Like if you played a game or watched a cartoon in your life, you've heard him. It was Donatello in the 2003 Ninja Turtles show. He was even the best character from the Deadly Six in Sonic Lost World.
Yeah. True.
He's not in a ton of stuff, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who aren't familiar with him, but...
He is in a ton of stuff. He's just not, he's not often a leading role.
True.
Yeah, like what we said, I think Donatello from TMNT is, his biggest main role that we know of.
Other than, I guess, Critical Role.
The Legend of Fox Machina. Wait, that's the same.
It is true.
Yeah, that was super exciting. But about the episode itself, it was kind of also fun.
I mean, I love how they said, "Hey, Sam, come in and play a troll character for us." Sam, yes.
He's perfect for it too. It's just the character is so him.
Yeah, I just love that there's this chance he might have been in the recording studio doing something else, and then they're like, "Hey, we need you to do a troll for this one," because voice acting is a job that a lot of the times you could just be in the recording studio doing something completely different, and then they're like, "Hey, can you stay for like an hour or so?" And then the actor's like, "Yeah, sure, I will." And there you go. And sometimes the voice actors don't even know that they did it.
This is true.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though, Sam. Did you come in and, was it, since we're dealing with a copycat dragon or a copy claw dragon, as it's called, and it can copy everyone else's voices, did you do the voices for those characters too? Did you copy Agro's voice or Burple's voice or Winger's voice?
No, I think...
If not, we're disappointed, Sam. We're disappointed.
Yeah, a little. Oh, you mean only in the recording studio? I hope so.
I guess I'm gonna be the realistic one here and say that no, there's no way he actually copied those voices.
If he did, clap. But I doubt it as well. They probably just had those voices.
The only one he could probably duplicate is Winger because there's no way he can do aggro. That's a different sex altogether. And Dak and Burple have those voices that like you could tell they are kids. And once you get older,
that's a different sex altogether, but we all know not. He was great with that voice. That's why it changed very quickly. And also, I'm gonna compare this again, but also in the Lion Guard, it was obvious when they did this plot. Whenever the bird did another character, that would be that character's voice actor.
Tamu. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his name.
Bird of 1,000 voices. Yes, it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Sam Riegel, but yeah. His song was good.
I like how anyway, we've also not even talked about the other facet of this episode. Yes, Dak, Winger, Agro, and Burple are dealing with a copy claw dragon, while Layla, Summer, and Cutter are off dealing with another Elbone business adventure, and this one's actually good.
You know something?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's a point where I'm like, when Layla actually said, this is pretty relaxing and stuff. It's actually... I actually like this as much as riding a dragon, and Summer shoots whatever. It's like, bitch, she can enjoy both.
I love that she did that though, and Layla's just standing there like, what's the word? That blank stare of like, I know I said the wrong thing. Like I can't remember the word for that face. Darn it.
Nonchalant, maybe?
Yes, maybe. I think that's it. Maybe. But either way, like I loved the face afterwards, and just that scene. I thought it was great. Again, I love Summer.
They
play off each other well.
Elbon apparently, none of the way knows that there's dragons behind him, so he's just like, weird, I didn't expect rain.
I love how they're trying to help him, and he again, Elbone had this one completely figured out and knew everything, and actually had a good business venture.
And that's actually a thing that if this is the final season, since this is the final, I'm like, you know what, wouldn't have been a bit more satisfying? You could have done it like that. He just, this is the one business he figured out. He actually moves from fishing to do this, and he can actually, and he actually likes it, and he found the new business he's been looking for.
I also like how Elbone invented hot air balloons,
Yeah, but no, he just gives it up.
Well, personally though, I found it so funny, like the reason he gave it up, because I mean, Rocky was terrified up there. It's heights. Rocky don't do good with heights.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I would have agreed that it's funny if it was. I would have agreed with you that it's funny until I figured out this is the last season. Because again, you're going to do that. Give me something. Give someone an end. Give someone some sort of a resolution, not just throwaway line.
But HC, you got to remember they have to be able to make a new show. Just saying. And they can't just throw Elbone away. He's one of the leading characters.
Here's the thing. If they actually do another show in the Rescue Riders universe, and if they actually need to play into it, you know what? But at the same time, you could walk out of it. Like you can just say that Elrond is not doing his herbal thing. You don't have to keep him stuck there.
Sure. I guess.
I mean, yeah, again, like I'm fine with it. It felt very in character for him. Like this isn't a character who gets an end. His you know, he doesn't get to like, I'm finally free of fishing. I never want to fish again. He's like the most amazing fisherman in the world at this point, I think.
Let's say
I
know
like,
this is one of those
barrels alone in a day. Yeah.
I think like you guys will probably agree that I am fully aware that this is one of my goddamn at HC, it's a preschool show. Don't look too deep into it. But it's like just because it's a preschool show doesn't mean you have to. Whatever. It was fun, and the way they beat the dragon, that they imitate them. That was actually clever. I
love how we have the golden dragon coming back. By the way,
yeah, so funny.
Yeah, but I like the idea by the bag that they actually strategized. Wait a minute, he copies only the last breath that he saws. So what if he copies a breath that is useless? There you go.
Yeah, so rude. So rude.
She doesn't care. Golden blast.
Golden blast. I loved it. I loved it so much. I also loved it when Gorsh, like, I also love the term "you've been gorshed." It's so funny to me.
I feel like that was entirely ad-libbed by Sam, and I love it.
Must have been.
I am not sure if this was the intention, but for some reason, you've been gorshed, or people to get gorshed. For some reason, all I can think of is if someone tried to mess with Goofy, and Goofy got them back. You've been gorshed.
Listen, Sam expected to record this role and have it just be like, oh, it's a thing I did in the background. He got to eat too. I respect that. Critical Role fans, if you're out there watching this show, go into the Critical Role chat and just spam. You've been gorshed. Sam will know.
Absolutely. If I ever watch the show live on Twitch, I will definitely just. You've been gorshed.
Just wait for a moment where Sam does something trolly. You've been gorshed. Never let him forget.
Something.
Honestly, I think it sounded to me like he had fun doing this, and I had fun watching him do it. So I loved this episode.
I will say that. Just imagine, okay? Just imagine if that out of all the memes we got out of this franchise, the scrap metal and whatever else, and suddenly you see you've been gorshed, and everyone who didn't watch us going to be like, the f is a gorsh.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. But yeah, the end where Gorsh just blows glitter into Winger's face and he just blows it back and it's just it got in my eye. It's silly. Yeah, we'll do that.
Again, I think this was this was like definitely second favorite episode.
Oh, second favorite. Oh,
I like the finale so much for so many wrong reasons.
Yeah. So I guess moving on, the series finale, and you are, which might actually be my favorite episode in the show, not counting the musical special.
Really, I kind of had an average, to be honest.
I think if you had to finish off the series as a whole, there are honestly the ending feels like, oh, okay, I guess we're done. But I kind of like this concept that because when we started this show, we aggro aside, but still these people were just together. These people, these two kids and the dragon, they were just together. They were their own company, traveling around until they settled in huts galore and made a name for themselves. So, and they were basically inseparable since they met each other. And with the flashback episode, now we know again why. Besides Winger, really, we never know how they met Winger, but whatever. And that they were never apart, and suddenly they go to this island and meet this dragon voiced by Danny Pudi of all That's random, but who makes them forget things, and suddenly you have Deck and Layla kind of on their own without the dragons. They are afraid of the dragons. They have to just kind of trust on each other, like siblings. So
kind of water, and it's just like, oh, I think we're related.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
And that's another thing that they don't necessarily get their memories back because of some sort of magic or something. They get their memories back because of their connections to each other. And this is something this is what I was going to build up to. I actually like the scene where Dak saves Winger. And I like it because it, in some sense you could make the argument that they are trying to kind of project something from the original franchise here, but something, as much as I don't like Winger and I will stand by it, I think Dak and Winger are a more believable friendship than Tom and Thunder from the Nine Realms. Yes, I said that. It's recorded. You can use it against me whenever you want. I believe that because something, when I see one sacrificing himself for the other, as much as I don't like Winger, I believe this fucking friendship. I believe that they care. I believe that they care for each other. I believe that they would risk their lives for each other. I never felt it, and I will probably never feel it with Tom and Thunder. I felt it here. So you know what, Rescue Rangers, on the very final episode, kudos for making me give a shit about Winger not being killed.
I don't know. I don't know if they were. Oh, go ahead.
The Forbidden Friendship section was definitely more deserved in this episode than in Nine Realms.
Oh,
still not deserved, but still more.
I want to say, I feel like the writers, whether they watch the show or not, I want to assume they do, because I feel like they threw you a bone when Winger came out, the dragons lost their memory, and Winger said, "Oh, Purple, you must be, purple one, you must be the leader because you're bigger than everybody."
Yeah, exactly.
And Winger's just in the background, like, I wish I had a special power.
Exactly.
When I wish I had cool powers like you, and I'm like, yeah, suck it, bitch.
I feel like the writers are like, let's throw HC a bone. We watched their show. They maybe not.
Yeah,
I'm probably thinking they're too big of us, but still, I'm going to assume so.
By the way,
writers, if you are actually listening to this, if you're actually seeing this, then you know what? Appreciate it. Thank you. And something for this. I'm giving you a credit. I'm giving you a bone. I'm trying to bone at you through the YouTube video, I guess.
You've gone from coming from an E-tier show to a D-tier show.
no.
HC's tier list.
No,
it's moved up.
I guess I'll say that throughout this entire. I guess restaurants would be put in like a solid C or something.
That's fair.
Solid C. I mean, it's sufficient grade.
Yeah. I do, again, like HC, if there's one thing I would say that was a little meh about it, was the whole hey, we were able to remember because we're family and we love one another. It would have been nice if Chief Duggard was in on that somehow, but I understand it would have been hard to get him there.
You remember when the guy adopted these two? You remember that?
Yeah, no,
I guess they didn't.
I think they lost that family member when they moved from Netflix to Peacock.
It's so weird though, because they don't reference him adopting them ever at all, but they're willing to go all the way back to, I believe, the first season and reference Viking who sits on the ground and rows through the ground.
Yep.
What a random reference of that dude to bring back out of nowhere for no reason. It's like, why?
It's so funny.
It was funny. I laughed my butt off, but it's just, why though? But why?
Also, different reference. Toothless tablet. Just saying, it's all connected.
Just randomly laying on a beach.
Yeah, randomly laying on the beach, just being like, nah, it's not there.
I love how they had to get their last little How to Train Your Dragon, guys. Wink.
Yeah, also they did the little music beat.
I loved the music because
there were a few music bits, right?
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Also, you say that they don't really have an origin story for Winger, but didn't Deck and Layla grow up with Winger?
Yes. Yeah, they grew up with Winger.
Yeah. No, but that's what I mean. Though that we never really got an episode like about the story during this time, like that.
Yeah.
Because we got how they met Summer. We see how they met.
Aggro, and we've gotten Purple and Cutter.
Aggro is an episode of the first season, so it's like it's only really missing that, like, what exactly, how did because let's say Winger is the one who raised them, even though they're the same age, kind of. You could have done something with this, but I don't know.
Yeah, it would. I think if they ever do come back, if they really want to end things or like give us a little bit more, I would be interested in seeing like the how Dak and Layla came to be raised with Winger by Winger's mother, like, and getting to see Winger's mom. Like, I think that would be the a nice thing to see in the future if we ever get any more. We'll find out that Winger's mom is the light fury. She gets around.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Since we kind of went over the entire episode and all the episodes, and we're gonna get our general thoughts. There are a lot of things that can be talked about Rescue Riders now that it's over, and what would we kind of like to see going forward. But I think let's maybe save this for a future episode, which may come, I don't know, next week, in 2 weeks, depending, because we're doing another episode after this. Wink, wink.
Possibly, maybe, sometime in the future.
Sometimes in the near future, even. Like, I think next week we can come back, assess some thoughts, and talk about if we want a future for Rescue Riders.
Yeah. But overall, looking at this season, I think I enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun with this, and I think this was. I can honestly, say now. I would argue that this was probably the season that got the most laughs out of me, and I enjoyed it the most. That I
agree with the most laughs.
I would say not necessarily the thing I enjoyed the most. I think that still goes to the Songwing episode, the Songwing special, right? I kind of loved that one so much. Like that one was, I think, my favorite.
Funny.
Yeah, it's very funny and it's just very enjoyable. So I think that one's still my favorite special or like Rescue Riders thing. But overall, I thought this was a great season, and I'm happy to see it end this way. I think hey, this is a great way to go out. It was.
You know what? Again, considering I just always say that regardless if those seasons are like more or less, but the show at least it went out with a season which I felt gave me some laughs, gave me stuff to talk about. Because if Wolf, if you remember the previous episode, we were just kind of looking for stuff to talk about regarding. so it's nice that at least we went out with a season which was fun. It may not change the minds of people who gave up on the show, but at the same time, if we're gonna go out, let's have fun. And fun was had.
Yeah, it was a really good season. I think it was definitely, if not the strongest, one of the more strong seasons. Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So,
fun. Also,
shall we?
Little appreciation for the final shot of the series. It was really sweet.
Agreed.
Yeah. Again, rushed, and Douglas should have been there, but yeah, okay.
I mean, Doggett, I genuinely think, that family relationship kind of missed out in translation from Netflix to Peacock.
I guess. Oh, well, so this was all for this episode of the Berkcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on the final season of Dragons Rescue Riders Heroes of the Sky? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team. Ian, where can people on the internet find you?
I mean, if you're Dutch, you always have a Twitter at Ancient26, or otherwise you can see Random Hat Train Dragon quotes on Barf and Belch.
All right, so until next time, I was HC.
I was Wolf.
And Ian.
And we will see you all next time. Take care and down with Wingell.
No, Winger be praised.
Yeah, Winger be praised. Bye-bye.
Bye.